We're back on Wax, everybody. Jacksonville's retirement coach, the podcast hosted by Adam Wolf, the president, CPA, and CFP, founder of Wolf Retirement Navigation. Get that free portfolio analysis today. Don't wait. Come on. WolfRetirement.com. I'm your co-host, Doug Turnbull, and joined here by Adam Wolf. In midst of this holiday season, Adam, something we threw around the office here just to have a little bit of a laugh, all right? You ready for this? This is just a meme that was going around the internet. Why don't grocery stores participate in Black Friday or holiday shopping deals? I don't need 20% off on a flat screen. Give me half-price Tide Pods and $1 coffee creamers, and then you better believe I'll be at the doors at 3 a.m. Does that speak to you or what?
Oh, man, I tell you, yeah, I know. It's like trying to go in there. I don't think they're fighting as much as they used to before all the internet stuff, but every once in a while I used to do a couple good fights.
Yeah, that's been not vogue at all for about 10 years, it seems like, ever since the cyber stuff took over. And you just now it's instead of it being, and I know people are hearing this well after Black Friday, but instead of it being Black Friday, it's like Black Fry week. As soon as Thanksgiving, it's still the Tuesday after. Oh, your Black Friday sale. It's like, come on, man, let's stop selling that bill of goods here. But you have an interesting little take on the holidays this time around. Some travel and Christmas presents wrapped into that.
Yeah. So we're taking the girls up to New York City. I've never done New York City at Christmas, so we're going to go up there for a few days before Christmas, get back by Christmas, and but enjoy the city, and I'll do all the tourist stuff. Which, gosh, I haven't done that at Christmas, and I haven't seen the Statue of Liberty and that kind of thing. So we're going to do. I'm going to be a tourist for a couple days with the girls.
Hey, you're not going to be up there in Times Square New Year's Eve, are you?
Oh, no. Keep me far away.
If there was a way I could beam into that for an hour, I'd be good. But waiting all day to get a prized standing position next to the gate there in 42nd Street or what? No, I'm good.
I'll pass.
I can miss that. But I hope you have a wonderful time there over the holidays. I'm sure it'll be magical. Hope there's like a little dusting of snow, right, just to get the extra magic, but nothing too crazy. Yeah. And look, it's coming up to the end of the year, so among the different milestones people hit in retirement at the end of the year, and you and the Wolf Retirement team have, I'm sure, been meeting with people trying to get their plans hammered out, but that are RMDs, and big deadline coming up for those that are 73 or older that have qualified money accounts.
Yep, that's it. I mean, RMDs they can be complex, and they seem like they're getting like more and more complex every year with the rules that are getting passed. So let's take a step back. What is a RMD? It's a required minimum distribution, and the government is requiring you, if you have a IRA or a 401k or any retirement plan that has not been taxed yet. So the government says at a certain age, you now need to take money out of your deferred plan, your IRA, your 401k. Not that they're forcing you to spend it. They want it as taxable income, because the year you pull that money out, it is included as taxable income with your other income on your tax return, and you have to pay taxes on that. So that is what an RMD is in general.
They got a required minimum distribution there. If we got to get all these initials all hammered out here.
Yep.
Required minimum distribution age 73 or older. Has that age fluctuated over the years? Did it used to be a higher age, and then they lowered it because they were getting in arrears on taxes? Do you know?
Yeah. So it used to be age 70 and a half, you would have to start taking money out. Okay. That was a few years back. Now, anybody who turned 73 between 1951 and 1959 now has to take it at 73.
Okay.
There was a little spot there a couple of years back where people had to take it at 72, so it added some complexity to it. Now, if you were born 1960 or later, it's 75. So adding a little bit more complexity to it. So it's a staggered approach to take money out. And how much, I get a question a lot of times, how much do I need to take out? And I tell people, just rule of thumb, your first year, about 4%. It's actually a little bit less than 4%, but about 4%. So it gives people being able to eyeball, if you have a balance in your IRA or 401k of $500,000, then you'll need to take out 4% for about $20,000, and you need to do that at a certain time. Now, the first year you're required to take out your RMD, you can technically take it out by April 1st of the following year. But why would you do that? Most people don't need to, because you then have to take your second year distribution that same year. So now you have two distributions in 1 year. You have all this taxable income. I tell people most of the time, take it by December 31st of the calendar year you're required to take it, so it sort of equalizes and spreads out that income over time. Now, that is only for IRAs. Now, Doug, there are no RMDs for Roth IRAs. Many people are not aware of that, but there are no RMDs for Roth IRAs. But going back to IRAs.
Uncle Sam's not trying to collect his tax bill on the money that he already taxed you for, unless he's pulling a fast one on you.
We don't want to pull in a fast one on us. But, the RMD, that 4% number I gave you, is what's called a uniform lifetime table number. But there are some caveats, and one of them that I like to mention is, if your spouse is more than 10 years younger than you, then there is a lower RMD amount that you can take out. So there are some caveats. We have to be careful with those rules. And that
makes sense too, by the way. Just don't gloss that over. You talk about the complexities and these different tables and numbers. That makes sense, because if you are helping support somebody who's planning to live off of your money maybe a little longer than you live, they're more than 10 years younger than you, the government doesn't want you completely draining your funds.
Correct.
With them having so many years left to live, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's the intention of it. But also it's pretty I think not diabolical, but it's one of the highest potential penalties for not taking an RMD. It's 50%, up to 50%. Now they're starting to alleviate that a little bit, but it's up to 50%. And doing this for the going on 25 years now, and knowing about this stuff, I've never seen it with anybody that I've met for the first time, and I've never read about it. So if there were these penalties, they're not fully enforced. But what the government has done is started to reduce that penalty. They're going to reduce it all the way down to 10%, and I could see them with a 10% penalty being able to pass a lot of those penalties on to people versus a 50% penalty. So just be aware of that. And they give a lot of leniency. I've seen people who I've met with for the first time who didn't take it, and we're now 6 months after the fact where we should have taken it. And what we'll do is we'll do a IRS waiver and send that form in and ask for forgiveness, and then take it as soon as we know that it hasn't been taken. And 100 times out of 100 times we've done that, it's worked. So, but that's not a guarantee for it not to work in the future.
Yeah, for sure. And Uncle Sam, that debt's going to keep going up. They're going to keep trying to find ways to collect that money. And, even if the tax cuts, the quote, Trump tax cuts get extended now that administration is going to begin in January again, I mean, the government's going to try to have to account for some of that money somehow. You can't take less and less money. So they're going to be looking after it. And I know tax strategies are a big part of your strategy and the things you look at and specialize in at Wolf Retirement Navigation.
Yeah, saving money and taxes, it should be at the forefront of everybody's retirement plan, because it is the number one expense for most people. Now, a lot of times it's about tax efficiency, tax bracket maximization, tax-free investing, but it's also about not making mistakes and not being over penalized for making these mistakes, and having a sound strategy for your retirement life. I'd rather saving $1 is 100% return in my book. So if we could save $1, not just now, but over the life of you paying taxes, that's 100% return every dollar that you save. Now, with that being said, there are other RMDs. That have certain sets of rules. They are for inherited IRAs. Now, inherited IRAs or inherited Roth IRAs, let's carve out spouses, because if you are a spouse, you inherit your other spouse's IRA or Roth with the same rules that you have. So there's some other caveats there as well. But for most people who inherit these things, the old rule was that you had to get it out of your IRA over your lifetime, being able to stretch it out. Now the new rule is you have to empty that IRA within 10 years plus every year take a minimum. So that starts to add some complexity to this stuff. Now, imagine you don't know these rules, and 10 years later, you have this inherited IRA that now you're forced to take it all out at one time. I mean, that is taxable income in year 10. That is, you're going to be giving a third, if not half of it to the IRS or to Uncle Sam, to the Treasury Department by not following the rules.
And I want to make sure I understood right. Is there any way to avoid having to pay that much? Is there any strategy, or is that what you sit down with clients with? And
yeah, I mean, like we're going through it right now with a couple clients, some adult children who have inherited these IRAs, and both kids are working. They both have income. They're both outside of Florida. So not only would their income from these IRA distributions be taxable to them at the federal level, but also the state level with the states that they reside in. So we had to be careful in how much income and how much we would draw from these inherited IRAs. Rule of thumb is anywhere from 10 to 12% a year. So you can drain it over 10 years. But I mean, heck, depending on what kind of markets we've had and what kind of investment performance returns we've had, taking out 10% might not be enough to get it all done evenly throughout the course of 10 years.
And that's why if someone has a portfolio, especially at $500,000 or greater, and has questions about this kind of thing, what do they need to do, Adam?
They need to give us a call, and we're going to sit down with them, and we're going to review this and make sure that, every year that you're a client of ours, we're going to make sure that we're in the ballpark of not overpaying. And we're going to make sure that your plan is in place to be efficient. And whether it takes into account tax bracket maximization, overall lifetime tax efficiency, or tax-free investing, that's what we're going to do.
Tax-free investing. We like that. So go to wolfretirement.com, call 904-944-5828, and get that free portfolio analysis today. And I like something you have here, Adam, on your site, wolfretirement.com, getting someone a complimentary Retire Smart plan. Retire Smart plan. That's just a great way. I think there's so many things that we do that we just don't do it smart. If we just sat down and thought about it for 2 seconds and had somebody like you with over a quarter-century experience, we'd be in a lot better shape.
Yeah, I mean, for most folks, there's 5 major risks, and within that smart plan, the risks are, the risk of running out of money, the risk of having too much in the market, which is too much volatility risk, tax risk, healthcare risk, and then also your estate risk, where you want your stuff to go efficiently and legally. That's what we boil that plan down to, and we look at all those caveats for a holistic retirement approach.
A holistic retirement approach again. So go to wolfretirement.com, and I'll say that number one more time if you don't mind, Adam. It's 904-944-5828. Well, Adam, thanks for spending some time today explaining what RMDs are. I know there's a lot of initials and a lot of rules and such, and that's why you need someone to help guide you through the mess and the mist right there, and that's you, Adam Wolf. So thank you so much.
All right, Doug. Appreciate you.
I appreciate everybody else for listening, too, and thanks to our producer, Daniel Salerson, for getting this all put together and published. And if you have any more questions about this, again, go to wolfretirement.com. If you've heard something that you think, hey, this not only applies to me, my brother, he's only 2 years younger than me, he's about to go through that, or, maybe your cousin inherited someone's IRA, whatever it is, be sure to send them the links. We have these up on Apple, Spotify, and I forgot to mention before, too, YouTube as well, along with wolfretirement.com. Our last episode that was about Roth IRAs, so that's another big thing that ties into this, or kind of is the yang to the yin, so to speak. And the episode before that, we talked about year-end tax planning. So a lot of stuff to digest here in December. Maybe you need to go on your own Tony Turkey trot, all right? Run some of that off. But first, go to wolfretirement.com. Thanks again, Adam.
All right. Thanks, Doug.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to Jacksonville's Retirement Coach. He is Adam Wolf. I'm Doug Turnbull, and we'll hope you have a wonderful new year, everybody, and we'll talk to you all in 2025.
Investment advisory services offered through Coil Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Wolf Retirement Navigation, LLC, and Coil Capital, LLC are not affiliated. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against loss in periods of declining values. Opinions expressed are subject to change without notice and are not intended as investment advice or to predict future performance. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Consult your financial professional before making any investment decision. This information is designed to provide general information on the subjects covered. It is not, however, intended to provide specific legal or tax advice and cannot be used to avoid tax penalties or to promote, market, or recommend any tax plan or arrangement. Please note that Wolf Retirement Navigation LLC and its affiliates do not give legal or tax advice. You are encouraged to consult your tax advisor or attorney. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurer. Any references to protection or benefits or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products or services. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing company and not offered by Coil Capital LLC. Florida Insurance License Number W016816.